in this game 3 decided, despite, I'd say, I mean, having overall success.
I think it's really important because Queen of Pain's difficult to gank, and Earthshaker's great at counter ganking. So I think they have to just approach and attack Hellraisers a different way. I mean, if they had won game 2, then maybe they're like, okay, well, you can just keep picking Chen versus Hellraisers, but they figured it out.
And the way Artstyle plays Chen is he doesn't want to just play the more farming-oriented Chen. Teams who pick Chen and play like that won't care about a Queen of Pain, but he wants to gank constantly, which won't work against a Queen of Pain Earthshaker.
Yes.
So Phoenix get banned, Na'Vi just probably want to balance out some of those stable Hellraisers, teamfight-oriented heroes, the Phoenix.
Is Phoenix even that good for its Disruptor? I don't think so.
No, not particularly.
Maybe it's just one of Hellraiser's staples, something that they're very comfortable with playing around.
The team fight with the Supernova is still very... It's bad in the lane stage, but I'd say it's pretty good in like the mid... I mean, it has no issues in the mid game necessarily. You can still get off a decent Supernova in most fights.
Vantage gets banned out. I actually think it would work decently for Hellraisers, like defensive swap against a Disruptor Glimpse.
Yep.
But it does work well with Na'Vi with the double minus armor, and they can just sneak a Rosh very, very quickly. And I mean, Roshan has just been so important in each and every one of these games today.
All right, we'll see one more ban from the two teams here in this second stage, and then we get into the really kind of important picks of these drafts, which will round things off for the most part, as Na'Vi will be banning things out, and Hellraisers have first grabs, so be curious to see if this Earthshaker is going to be, again, the Dread core Earthshaker, or if we do see maybe an alteration and they put it into that support role.
So Dazzle ban, I'd say Dazzle was pretty instrumental. Just a couple of clutch Graves is all you need to make the hero very worthy of a pick. And I mean, the way Na'Vi plays too, they go for these quick, precise kills on heroes, and Dazzle just ruins it all. Even when you get 4-man initiates, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And the weave we've seen in these physical, whether you've got the PA and you want to amplify, like they threw the offensive weave on Havos, and suddenly, if a fight broke out, suddenly he's lost like 15, 20 armor, and you've got a PA on your side. So whether it's being used offensively or defensively against a physical damage draft, which Na'Vi may look to do around the Shadow Fiend, is a very handy hero to have. So we'll see the clock ban. You mentioned this as a possibility and a likely ban when likely hero for Na'Vi to consider when there's an Earthshaker on the playing field. So
I think it's next time. Nix.
Oh, the Hellraisers Classic. It looks like
typically banned out in the second phase by teams. I forgot about the Night Stalker.
Yeah, and Na'Vi themselves go for the Batrider. There's your kind of good initiation vision hero. I like this. Earthshaker is a good fissure counter initiator, but
Batrider's just so good.
Yeah,
it's such a great hero.
It doesn't matter what counters are there. Like if it's nighttime and Night Stalker's an axe, still doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, okay, it can be used as a good counter, but it's always a good
But how
hero.
did they get vision? Night Stalker can provide all the vision that he needs for Hellraisers, but for Na'Vi, it's
what do you
not
get
really that
here?
much. No one's up in front.
Yeah, right now they haven't got much. Hellraisers Omni Knight. This is your DAC Classic. This is what got them far in DAC. They're going back to their bread and butter. This to me is what we used to see, during that DAC competition where they were doing well. Na'Vi going to look to contest the lanes. I think they see this Omni Night Stalker like, yeah, Night Stalker's really tanky at level 1 and all that, but his lane's not necessarily strong. Neither is Omni Knight. An Undying Batrider kind of dual lane maybe coming out.
Pretty bold. What's Hellraiser going to pair with Omni? Is it just going to be like a PAAM? Is it going to be a Pudge? One can hope.
I wonder what... And even like the Night Stalker, is this going to be offlane Night Stalker with support Earthshaker or roaming Night Stalker? It definitely feels like they definitely need a last pick damage / carry, because Earthshaker, Night Stalker, Omni Knight, damage output is kind of not really there unless Earthshaker is getting a ton of farm and a really fast blink.
I think Earthshaker has to be support in this.
So what's your kind of like ideal carry type here for Hellraisers here?
I'm not sure.
PL, well, I guess banned out now. Dusa maybe? Is this a Dusa game? They sometimes fall back on it, but it feels like you maybe want a more aggressive one with an Omni Knight.
Dusa would work pretty well. Versus an Undying, you just kind of wait for him to fall off. And Dusa is good at holding high ground and good at winning late. And a very good partner with Omni Knight, so she fits all the tickets. I mean, I would say Anti-Mage still works pretty well too.
The Hellraisers Classic.
I mean, PEA, any of those physical damage dealers that are just really strong with magic immunity.
Even if you want to go really aggressive early, something like a Slack with a Repel or Purification to team with him can be very potent.
But that really depends on Omni Knight getting levels.
Yeah.
And if things go really poor, Sark's not that great.
I'm just imagining the laning stage as well, like an Omni Slark lane against an Undying Bat Rider. That's probably not going to go too well for the Omni Slark.
Too much melee. 4 melees if they opt for that.
It does feel like they want to go for a ranged carrier, though. I mean, Na'Vi banned the PL, kind of in its own little boat there with the Phantom Rush, but...
Luna's decent, too. I like Luna versus Undying. Kill the zombies and a Tombstone.
We'll see. About 20 seconds left for Hellraisers to decide. It is a kind of comfort draft for them, but definitely something which, with all this melee heroes against Bat, against Undying, it shouldn't be hard for these heroes to do what they need to do. And it will be the Medusa pick. Hellraisers.
The best of the options. And a safe pick for a final game.
Yep. I think it's, that's the thing. You know, teams in a final game like this are going to be playing more defensively, playing safer, not taking as many risks, so the games are more likely to drag out and go late unless a team really snowballs out of control. So there's a good chance Medusa can get to that late game.
So Navi's kind of in a pickle here. If they want to go for an anti-mage, she's not a diffusal carrier. And if they want to go for a different carry, they won't have mana burn.
No, I mean, diffusal's mana burn.
They could go Naga.
Yeah.
They could also go Juggernaut.
Diffusal Manta.
Yes.
Jugs actually seems pretty decent.
Yeah,
here.
I think Jug's pretty good.
I mean, Manta, you probably won against the Night Stalker Silence anyways, to some extent. The other thing is you just get a draft that snowballs and say, yeah, we don't really care about having Diffusal because we're just going to be so far ahead of you that we control the entire map because Medusa may take too long to come online.
Earthshaker Dusa, though, on high ground.
I mean, you don't have to push high ground. You just take all the outer towers, keep Hellraisers in their base, and just get that like 10, 15, 20k gold lead that just keeps on rising.
Yeah, but then you have Disruptor and Undying who don't do anything with that much.
That's true. Navi, that's the thing. They've got this Undying pick, so they don't necessarily want to go super late here. Although if they do, I guess the Undying's just a hero you accept will fall off a bit.
I don't think they want to. I think they have to.
I did see, I think it was 2K on in Red Bull Battleground China where he went for like a late game play. Went for a Midas because they can end the game and ended up with like an Ags BKB and just crashed late game. But
yes, Razor is actually really good at ending the game early. And it's also decent versus Repel because you can just static through it. So I think the build is, or Razor pick is good at all stages of the game.
Okay.
It might not win the lane depending on the matchup. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, Dread and the off lane.
Dread's in the Omni Knight.
Yeah, so it should win the lane, and it can siege towers.
Foxy, Dread, he's got a ward. I'm wondering if this may be them swapping roles. Going back to who knows what.
Maybe it's just them trying to fake out.
Confusion?
Yeah, confusion.
I'm confused. Gorietz seems to be more of a core this game. So Gorietz used to play the offlane role for Hellraiser. It seems just throughout today and some of their recent series, they have done this role swap with Gorietz and Dread. But here we go. Game 3 decider. Winner will be coming out to the playoffs here in Santa Monica. We've got Na'Vi, tied 1 game apiece. They're going to be on the Radiant side with Havost. 4 on the Razor. We've got Artstyle, the captain and drafter, the new addition to the team on the Undying. So Nico going to be playing your Disruptor. Shadow Fiend in the hands of Dendy, and that leaves in the offlane Funnick playing the Batrider. For your Dire side, it's Hellraisers, a Dark Horse making their way through the lower bracket. They're playing on the Dire side, tied things up with a Game 2 victory. Alpha Ninja going to be going mid lane on the Medusa. Artez been playing the Queen of Pain. Gorietz on the Night Stalker. Goddamn on the Earthshake, and that leaves Dread on what appears to be maybe a support Omni Knight battle at the bottom rune. Decay very potent in this kind of a fight here. Artstyle taking a bit of damage. Plasma Field is there. The Fissure going to block off Na'Vi, splits him in 2. And Artstyle getting low. One more right click from Artez. He blinks forward. First blood. Queen of Pain. Hellraiser strike first. They're looking for more now. The Slow Navos. He's in trouble. Didn't get the kill to salve up on Gorietz. It looks like Havos may go down. 2 hero Mystic Snake comes into play. One more slow, not going to be there. Is there a blink from Quap? Doesn't look like it. He's back towards the bottom lane. No second kill, but Havos going to be forced to chew through most of his HP regen or just go back to base. With no mana, it looks like he's going to go for the ladder.
How did Artstyle only hit 1 hero with his Decay on that first cast?
I could have sworn it hit it 2, but I clicked him and I'm like, oh, he's only got 1. I don't know if it would have changed much, but good initial fight for Hellraisers. They get both bounty runes go Navi's way, but the first blood the bigger prize.
Very smart for them to put the Queen of Pain versus the Razor. Okay. She's the only one that can do pretty well.
Yeah.
Versus.
Well, and they've got support down here as well. So Nico gets initiated on the Fissure. Shadow Strike is there. Artez will blink forward. There's going to be a kinetic field to lock him in place, and I don't think they've got the damage to bring down your Disruptor. If anything, Artez is in trouble. There's another Decay soon. This is a long blink cooldown. Both heroes with boots though, and it looks like Artstyle just going to do some good zoning here on this bottom. So what are these lanes going to be? They put Deucimid against Shadow Fiend. Just worried about some aggressive Na'Vi lanes and figuring maybe the mid lane's the best place to farm. Top lane's your Bat versus Jewel lane where Night Stalker's going to farm. What do you make of these lanes here? Who's kind of favored from the early game get-go?
I mean, they can't get a kill on a Night Stalker. He just repels them, and then that's it.
Yeah.
Right. And they also have tons of magic stick charges. So I think all in all, it's a win for HR in top lane. Most 2-on-1 situations are, so that shouldn't be a surprise. In the mid lane, looks like Dusa is about even with Shadow Fiend. I've seen this matchup go either way, although it seems like it's 60-40 Dusa, actually.
Okay.
Surprisingly. On paper, it seems like Shadow Fiend should win, but almost every single time that I've watched it, Dusa has come out on top. So I just have to go on base of what I've seen. And in the bottom lane, the Quap has already had a lot.
Shaker. That's a good kinetic field. 2 zombies come out, and that's a kill.
Yeah, he's been really good with his kinetic fields, and almost saved them from the first blood.
Yeah. Did end up saving Havos from dying a second time, so we'll see Batrider. Funnick getting a lot out of this off lane, up to level 3 and approaching level 4. This is not a dual lane that they can really zone out a Batrider with.
Yeah, they should be able to free farm and pull, though. I don't think Night Stalker should feel that pressure. So all in all, I think all 3 lanes slightly HR favored.
All right.
But Navi, I mean, with that kill, it's very important.
Artez not farming particularly well in this bottom lane on his Queen of Pain. The Navi tri lane, well, it's now become a dual lane with Artstyle roaming around. Artstyle's putting a lot of good pressure in these fights early on. Kind of keeping the lane somewhat more even, as Undying's meant to do. This is meant to be one of your kind of support laning specialists. May take over this offlane. If they want to give Funnick a fast blink dagger, he may even go for an early rotation back into the jungle. We'll see what his plan is going to be.
Earthshaker making his way up top, as is Artstyle. Artstyle, I believe, has not been spotted out yet, but he will now, and Artstyle just running headlong into the Night Stalker.
I see Dread here on the side. He's just going to repel himself up, and Earthshaker on the way will be spotted soon by this Observer Watch. They know he's here, but they're just looking to right-click down Dread without boots.
Also without repel.
Stuff, yeah.
Or, sorry, without Degen Aura.
Yeah, picked up the Purification. And Shadow Fiend is actually doubling up the CS of the Medusa mid lane. You talk about this going either way. Well, Dandy making his mark known on this mid lane, and Medusa needs the bottle or at least some sort of item. Sometimes you see the bottle of Medusa, other times you do see the rush ring of Aquila. Top lane though, a fight under the tombstone. That's not a fight that Hellraiser are going to come out on top of, I imagine. Nice Fisher will cut off some of the chase here. The zombie's still looking to chase down Dread, but the tower will now assist, and one more decay could finish off goddamn Artstyle. Gets Navi's second kill on the board.
That looked like it did so much damage.
I mean, your HP bar is deceptively big because of how much strength you've lost. So you may have like what looks like a quarter HP, but a quarter HP is like 100-ish maybe. Well, there's going to be another kill going the way of Hellraisers here. They retaliate up top with the TP back in as Earthshaker finds his first place. And, well,
And looking at the jungle, there is a stack at the large camp, a stack at the rightmost medium camp, but 2 sets of golems. Very unlucky for Batriders today.
Well, that's a bit sad for him.
So Nico with the DD.
Oh, Dendy, he may need the protection here. The fish are going to block off Saniko, and Dendy can just stand on the high ground and throw raises. Hits Ninja, gets him on 32 HP. Saniko, if he gets that right click off, could bring down Ninja. It's Funny who's looking for both. He gets one right click, he needs a second, and I think he's going to get it. He brings down your Medusa, won't get the Earthshaker, but I don't think he cares about the Earthshaker at this point. Gets a few creeps as well, taxes Dendy in the mid lane. Really nice rotation. That Tranquil Boots movement speed helping him out there. And no boots on your Medusa, importantly.
Looks like Queen of Pain still suffering in terms of CS on the bottom lane. Half of Havos.
A lot of that, I think, was just the Disruptor, really putting a lot of pressure on him at the early levels.
Artstyle.
Drops the tomb, and as soon as you see that tomb, yeah, Hellraisers get the hell out of there. So just bait it out, force the cooldown and the mana to be used.
Still, they're putting a lot of pressure on the tower. And keeping Night Stalker at his tower during nighttime. That's a success.
Yep. It's a level 5 Night Stalker. He's going to get aggressive here. Has the backup of Omnia. There's your Purification to follow, but Funny going to pull in Dread. That's a level 6 Batrider out of nowhere. And Artstyle, still alive and kicking for now, will go down to another Void from your Night Stalker, but a 1-for-1 trade. I think Navi are okay with that.
Winning versus Night Stalker, yes. But is it going to be 1-for-1?
That's not looking so good for a poor Funnick here. There's a Void available for your Night Stalker. We'll throw it out. No mana for a TP. And this is where your Night Stalker starts to come online. Already 1,000 gold, 2-0 and 2. Importantly, and he's got to be able to get a lot done. This is not going to be, like, okay, he's safe lane farm for now, but he's not going to be staying in that kind of carry role.
Yeah, and one of the problems of Batrider is your opponents always have Magic Stick charges, and Night Stalker just spammed countless voids onto Funnick. Affirmation has gone for the bottle, heal up in mid, but it's just getting dominated in CS, and especially after that early death.
Top lane, Artstyle now in some trouble. Purification, heal bomb. Looking for a decay. Soul Rip maybe. Can he get it off? Not going to happen with the fissure. Gorietz picks up one more kill, going his way. This lane is becoming a bit of a lost cause for Na'Vi, it feels like.
Yeah, Artstyle thought he had it calculated to the spot, but of course the Earthshaker from out of vision sets up a kill. I mean, he still had decay as well as Soul Rip.
Yeah.
And Magic Stick charges.
All-time fissure. Goddamn, it's been a pretty good game in the Earthshaker. His score's not looking impressive by any means, but just being in the right place a couple of times to secure these kills and give the Night Stalker this good start. And he's going to rotate towards the mid lane, hitting level 7. The problem is nighttime ending in the next 30-40 seconds. It looks like they want to go for a smoke here. Immediate smoke. They realize there isn't much time to go for this.
Oh, buddy, that's a huge stack for Batrider.
The timing on this, as Night Stalker is going to come in and Batrider which way? He's going to spot him out from above. This is, oh, thank God for the Batrider. He spots this one out. He wants to finish this off fast, but doesn't want to get caught up by the Night Stalker. Gorietz is nearby. Fissure will steal a couple. I think he got 2 big creeps off of that, but Batrider getting most of it.
Yeah, not the prize that they were looking for. What you're hoping for is a low HP Batrider with a low HP stack, and none dead.
Approaching daytime now. Gorietz has no points in the ulti. Looks like Dendy should be able to secure the rune. Now they pull back in the Night Stalker into a kinetic field tombstone. Gorietz in trouble, has 10 stick charges. Will use it. The Queen of Pain Sonic Wave gets a double. Big turnaround coming off of the Artez Queen of Pain rotation, and that looked bad for your Night Stalker, but instead, Queen of Pain coming in, turns things around, and I don't think Batrider really wants to go in and get aggressive on this. He's on his own against 3. The fissure will deter him from chasing. As Hellraisers.
Sick burst from Hellraisers right there. Queen of Pain. Yeah, she might not have that much farm, but she has the levels, and that's what she needed to kill Dendy right there. Not sure why Dendy hadn't picked up his treads at that point, especially considering he's number 1 on CS. I think if he had treads there, he could have bottled up and gotten a couple of kills.
All right, well, it's a nice little sequence of events for Hellraisers. Now up 8 kills to 5 and pull ahead ever so slightly on gold, but a 2,000 experience lead as Affa Ninja kind of rotates into his own jungle now. Going to start stacking and doing what he can as far as increasing his farm. Not feeling too safe about this mid lane. And the problem is right now, Dendy can't really, at this point, Na'Vi really need this Batrider Blink Dagger, so they're going to be allocating most of the jungle farm to Funnick's direction, I imagine.
Shadowfiend can transition into the jungle or the Ancients at any point, though. So it's not that much of a loss of efficiency.
Gorietz has a point in the darkness if he wants to use it. Finds Havos, gets the silence off. Still daytime for now. Earthshaker with a fissure. They're going to pop the darkness. Blink actually gets glimpsed back on the Queen of Pain. Havos going to turn and fight for now. Loses the static link. And Gorietz, one more right click. The body block. Is it going to be enough? They don't get the kill. He's getting slowed down despite it being nighttime. He's just so slow. So Nico gets the kill. Artez comes in looking for a scream, but he's just going to be forced to blink defensively. That's a big streak being ended. Actually, no, he'd already lost in the previous fight, but still a high value kill. Night Stalker, top of your net worth chart, being brought down by your disruptor.
So close to killing Havos, but too tanky. Also, why did he use nighttime immediately?
Before the silence in the void, it felt like that would have made a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think the Qual could have just come in and killed Havos. Instead, she got glimpsed and was slightly out of position for her burst.
Well, not entirely sure what the idea behind that one was. HR still in a pretty decent position. They've given a lot of space and room for Medusa to farm away, and it does feel like there's more pressure on Na'Vi to make something happen here in the mid-game. With Razor building towards a mech, they've got the Undying as well, a hero that's known to kind of fall off in the mid, or more so in the late game. They want to be able to take fights as well as towers around this team fight of theirs.
But Funnick needs his blink.
Yeah.
1880 gold.
And he's just going to Firefly up some creep waves here with no jungle available, and Correct saying, I don't think so. I'm going to deny that range creep from you. And
Dendy kind of chilling in the bottom lane, going for that Yule's build. Not sure how effective it will be versus the Repel coming out from Omni Knight. He is getting great levels on the top lane, level 3 Repel after a rough start.
Started off as that support in the top lane, and now we're seeing kind of transition into more of a farming core role. That's something Hellraisers often do, is really spread the farm all across their lineup. We're seeing here Earthshaker sitting above the 2 Radiant supports, and no single core looking ridiculously farmed, but at some point that's what they want their Medusa to be, while the other 4 heroes all have some at least respectable items going their way. Medusa going full jungle mode for now, though.
Yeah, I think it's more so that Dread's just always able to find some sort of farm.
Yeah. He's doing well so far. I mean, last game was the Earthshaker, this time around on a quote-unquote support Omni Knight.
Nighttime about to hit in 5 seconds time. Havos rethinking his push onto the mid lane. But do they want to take the slate versus Omni and Dusa? I don't think so. Razor, not a great Diffusal carrier by any means. Dendy going for a caster build, so I don't think Diffusal is going to come out anytime soon. And without a really stacked Razor, they can't really breach high ground. So their timeline for winning the game is going to be like past 40, and at that point, Dusa is going to have 2 of them.
There's your blink. They're going to start things off. Alpha Ninja on the Medusa as the target. No way out for her. Easy kill, and they want to transition to this tier 1 tower. The DD rune on Dendy Shadow Fiend should be more than possible. This is what Na'Vi need to do constantly for the next 10 minutes, is just use that Batrider lasso, find a kill, transition into a tower.
They need to sacrifice the Night Stalker. Night Stalker needs to be in front to get the vision, because he's not the real carry. And if he gets farmed, that's great, but Dusa needs farm more, and she can't afford to die, especially looking at her items right now. Phase, Bottle, Aquila. They need Ancients, they need stacks for her, they need to protect her and sacrifice other teammates.
It does feel like Goretz is getting a lot of farm priority, even over the Queen of Pain here. Tez normally the farming.
Oh, immediate smoke coming out.
Where are they headed? There's a TP top from your Earthshaker. He's TP to the tier 2 as well, so that does open up a quick TP to this tier 1 if they want to try and catch a Voss should he push. And
Funnick.
he's spotted out by some dire vision right now. Very impressive in the jungle. But
he's not important to kill. He has already used his lasso. He has his blink dagger, so they may be wanting to kill him, but what if he just blinks out? And then they just waste a ton of time. They waste the smoke, and they lose their tower on top.
Well, Na'Vi going from objective to objective. They take the tier 1 mid. They're going to swing top, and Barrier will TP up here, and we'll have lasso in 10 seconds, so this will work out nicely.
And another smoke.
With the timing. I'm not sure if he needs to smoke.
It's really bold by Na'Vi to push it in the nighttime.
They got mech.
Same time, it's the best way to put pressure on Medusa.
Yeah. Mech plus Tombstone. They're going to run right into Goretz here. The Blink Lasso available. They're going to use the Lasso onto Dread on the Omni Knight. The Sonic Wave comes through. Where's that mech? It's not enough to keep Na'Vi alive. Havos was off on the side. Didn't get a chance to use the mech. And goddamn, gets an Echo Slam. Just a 1-hero target. Na'Vi still coming out on top of this fight so far. Afaninch out of mana. Does not get a Stone Gaze off. 3 heroes make it 4 down. Afaninch trying to just bring down Artsal with them. Will not do so. Team wipe by Na'Vi. Just the Shadow Fiend died. And a big turn of events going Na'Vi's way here in the top lane.
Tombstone.
Mech. I mean, everything about Na'Vi's draft right now, this is like, they're at their peak. Or at least one of their big peaks right now. Hellraisers are not ready to fight with a Medusa. Yeah, it may be nighttime. Yeah, you may have the Night Stalker.
Did the lasso go onto the Omni Knight?
Yeah. He blinked past the Night Stalker and went on the Omni Knight.
Very smart play from Funnick. If he gets his GA, they can kind of ignore the Tombstone and buy a couple of seconds time. But if Omni Knight can't get his spells off, which is very surprising considering it's nighttime, then they're going to lose the fight. They just spent way too long killing the Tombstone. And I mean, they have to kill it, but at the same time, if they do, they're going to die.
Immediate gem pickup now as well, which I imagine will be handed over to your Batrider. But Sneeko holding on to it for now. There's some deep dire wards. He won't be able to scout this high ground out without some flying vision, but he will spot out this other pesky one.
The starvation of Medusa continues. Afro Ninja has been able to bounce back in almost every one of these games, but in this game, I don't know if he can. They're map starved. They're losing fights and map control during nighttime. They don't have ancient stacks, and he just got obliterated in the lane.
We'll see what the move's going to be here. Maybe the other four teammates of his have to just go take fights without him and try to make the most of what they can. But this nighttime ending soon, and after that, Na'Vi going to have a lot of map control. They're pinging out this cliff here, and I think saying we should... Oh, they just smoked under the ward. Oh, and they see it. Okay. Smoke cancelled. Tsuniko says, yeah, about that, guys.
Why did they wait? Not a big deal.
Yeah.
Still doing a good job of making HR reconsider their plan.
They're looking to kind of cut them off here. I don't think Dendy wants to go charging in on his own from that direction, though.
Not without a BKB.
Yeah, he's got the Yules. Ninja just sub 800 HP, even with Mana Shield. This just makes him look so squishy. I mean, he kind of is squishy at this point if they manage to catch him out with something like a Yules Requiem. Or even just a Batrider lasso in with a 4-staff. Funnick has a lot
where's
of good
Stonegaze has
initiation.
been? I thought Stonegaze is supposed to own.
He's the last few fights he took too much damage, didn't have the mana for it.
Stonegaze is good because it'll buy them enough time to kill a Tombstone. So you trade your Stonegaze for Tombstone, good enough. But
they really need this Ags on Nightstalker now at some point for the bat initiations too. But I mean, even last fight, if they had, I don't know how much of a difference it would have made.
Yeah, Batrider can get a Shadow Blade later to try and work his way around that. But at the rate this is going, Nightstalker is not going to have it for quite some time.
Alright, well, Na'Vi, let the 5-man continue. To mid lane we go. Havas with a point booster, tanking up even further, and also looking to build towards that Aghanim Scepter, which will give him that high ground sieging capabilities. And Funnick not finding anyone with his Firefly, kind of signaling that Hellraisers have no interest in defending this tier 2 tower.
That's a really bad sign for HR because Na'Vi, once they take down this tower, they're like, okay, well, if they're not going to fight us, we'll just take Roche. And that just makes things so much easier to break the high ground, and it just allows them to move around the map much easier when they don't have to worry about HR doing a Roche after objective or a kill.
Well, they're just going to go right into the Roche pit.
And they have a Batrider there to own anyone who wants to try and make a move.
It's no big secret that Na'Vi are here right now. They just went straight from the tier 2 tower towards this direction. I mean, maybe Hellraiser's like, could they be going to the bottom tier 1 tower? No, if they're at Roshan. But
that's the thing, like, they can't really spam out the wave. Ideally, you'd spam out the wave at the T2 and slow down the push. Okay, Fissure, Mystic Snake, kill the wave. Repeat, repeat, repeat. But with the threat of a Batrider, they can't do that. If anyone comes up, I mean, ideally they like repel Dusa and then go up, but Dusa's not strong enough.
Well, Hellraiser's going to keep on distributing their farm very equally. This kind of communist society they're in. They're trying to get an Earthshaker Blink Dagger, an Omni-Knight Ag Scepter, an Ag Scepter on Nightstalker. Everyone's trying to build an item right now. The problem is there's no real one hero that looks scary on the Hellraiser side.
They need Dusa to be scary. I actually think it's worse for them to spread out the farm because of the nature of their lineup. When they have a repel, you can't repel more than one person. So you just need to repel the biggest, baddest snake in the game, Medusa. She has DD. Eventually she'll get enough farm. She scales the best with the items because of split shot and so on and so forth. And if they can just ignore her, then there's no point in having the Omni-Knight.
Well, in true art style fashion, it looks like Na'Vi are going to be gearing up for that ultimate 5-ground sieging machine. Vanguard gets picked up by art style. I imagine he's thinking Crimson Guard. He's even got a recipe. It's going to be a buckler recipe back at base. So yeah, Crimson Guard coming out from him. They've got the mech on the Razor. We'll see if they get the rest of those components, like the Vlads we've seen come out on Disruptor even in past games.
Why is Quap here? They didn't defend the T2. They didn't defend Roche. They didn't defend the T1. What makes them want to defend the T2?
Well, Havas isn't here, but even so, Funnick going to catch him out just barely on the edge. Pulls him back with a 4-staff. Dendy not going to wind up a Requiem. Feels like he's got the kill regardless, and he does. Disruptor gets the last hit, and then they swing back to the tier 2. Havas is also defending the mid-tier 1 tower while all this goes down, so...
Nightstalker is down.
I mean, Hellraisers know there's no Razor at this bottom tier 2, but even so, they can't fight it. Dendy has an Aegis, and also, for the push, next push, he's going to have a BKB. Oh
HR
boy.
just not with a good game plan. They should have just stuck to the guns. Okay, if we lose our T2, we're going to lose everything else, but at least we're going to get farm out of it. This way, they give up kills, they don't get that much farm, and they still lose the towers. So they have to just stick with what they wanted to do and hold the high ground.
Well, Denny just a couple hundred away from that BKB, and the pushing machine really continues. Probably waiting on some of these other items like the Razor Aghanim Scepter, which is getting closer and closer. Also the Artstyle Crimson Guard, which is also almost completed.
Think about Navi's lineups. They have a lot of magical damage. If like let's say they repel in GA, usually everyone's just forced to turn tail and run, use your BKBs and kind of kite the GA. But with their lineup, they can Requiem, they have Napalm and Firefly, Disruptor damage, a little bit from Razor. They have so much magic damage that I think they can actually kill people through repel or through GA.
Yeah, it's exactly. Only one hero can be repelled, and yeah, you won't be killing that hero, but there's no one hero that with a repellent is going to destroy you right now. If Medusa gets really farmed, yeah, there's a problem, but a repellent Medusa, it's like, okay, she right-clicks, kind of, she tickles. Right now, just a phase Yasha. No one on this dire side with a repel is that scary.
And on the Quap, she is not going for a BKB. So if she gets GA, she still has to turn tail and run.
Yep.
And I think it would have been better to go for the Queen of Pain BKB that Dundee has been doing in this game, just because repel and BKB is too strong.
Yeah.
Or BKB GA rather, it just makes you invulnerable for 6-7 seconds.
All right, well, Na'Vi, they've gone from one tower to the next. Why stop there? Let's get the last one up top lane, the Tier 2 tower. It's feeling awfully lonely, and Na'Vi going to go show it some company, show it some love, as they are maybe giving up their Tier 1 mid tower. They've got Glyph available if they want to start looking to TP in some heroes off of this, but it feels like they just don't want to give up any of their pushing momentum right now.
The Ags is complete. The Aegis is online for yet 1 minute and 20 more seconds. Is that enough time to breach high ground? It is going to be very tight. Earthshaker does have his Blink Dagger. I'm not sure if it's been scouted out.
Disrupted TP's back. The Tier 2 also being TP2 by Dendi.
Maybe waiting for a daytime to siege. Daytime with Aegis.
Voss is kind of alone up here. Has just the Batrider with him. But no TPs inside. Here we go. Nightstalker leads things off, and now full retreat. Gorietz with the repel leading the charge. Will lose that repel should he use a void or anything onto Havos. Fissure cancels the TP out. Havos in trouble. As a mech gets forced up out, dodges the Echo Slam, and will maybe be kept alive as a result. Funnick trying to create some space, goes for the TP out, and he stuns no siree. And now Havos, unfortunately, blocked off by the Alpha Ninja Medusa and will pay the price. Na'Vi just TP'd a few too many heroes out of there. And Havos, well, maybe just should have backed off.
Well, he didn't know that Nightstalker had his Ags. If Nightstalker didn't have his Ags, he would have been able to TP out safely.
Just TP.
That slight miscalculation by him.
And this is, I guess, the first time we see Hellraisers with some items. They've got the Blink on the Earthshaker, the Nightstalker Ags. I mean, beyond that, they're still working on the Queen of Pain Hex, the Omni Knight Ags himself, but
I still think Na'Vi needs to do significant damage to the T3 with the next Aegis, just because of the Undying. And Undying owned those fights early, and it's worth it for those fights. But when it comes later and later, and Dusa can right-click the Tombstone and own the rest of your team with split arrows, you're going to be regretting the pick if you can't end the game early.
well, we'll see how aggressive Na'Vi can get upon that next Aegis. For now, all they can really do is get some map control, maybe try to find pickoffs, but no Aegis in hand. It seems unlikely they go for a high ground push unless they find some big pickoffs. Batrider sitting on 1,200 gold with an Ogre Club, so we'll be working towards that BKB, and he's the one who has to make those pickoffs happen. Oh, bottom lane they go, and he blinked into a static storm. God damn, what's he thinking there? Now the Tombstone going to set things up as well. You cannot fight into this if you're Hellraisers. Then he gets turned to stone, but Funnick now blinks forward, lassos one. Meanwhile, Alpha Ninja gets glimpsed back. It's Dread who's pulled into this one, gets off a purification, but that's all he's going to do. He goes down, and with 3 dead, Na'Vi actually can go push for the high ground. Havos has the Aghanim's Eye of the Storm, and this could be Tier 3 tower being sieged, possibly even this bottom lane of Rax.
That static storm.
Whew. Earthshaker didn't even have an Echo Slam. I don't know what he was thinking blinking into that one. Well, now the siege continues. They held their Crimson Guard, they held their Eye of the Storm, they still got the mech. No glyph available for about 10-15 seconds, and they've got, okay, last 140, not for some time. Batrider just getting some scouting information, gets away from the Fissure with the Force Staff, and that's a melee Rax. 24 minutes in, Na'Vi. Havos says, I want the range as well. I can do it, guys. He'll get it, and that's some more cash into the kitty for Na'Vi.
What a great fight for Na'Vi. And I mean, they're really good at the opportunities that HR presented them. Like, they wanted to take a fight, but Na'Vi were already 5 there, ready to turn around, ready to jump the Earthshaker as soon as he tried to find an opening. And HR, they could take the safer option of just always sitting up their high ground and just pecking at farm for Medusa, but at that point, Navi's just going to take Roche and fight when Medusa's still under farm. So they're taking a slightly riskier approach by taking fights outside their base, and which equates to more farm for the Medusa. But at the same time, they put themselves at a risk to lose a team fight and then lose a Rax, and that's exactly what happened.
Okay. Well, off of this, Na'Vi get a big chunk of gold. They're going to go back to that tier 2 tower where they lost to Voss last time, and from there, they're going to be in an even better position. Dendy's starting to build towards what I believe is going to be a Skadi now. He's picked up his first ultimate orb, and Havos working on a BKB, so throwing some magic immunity, throwing some more survivability. Things just going to go from bad to worse, and Na'Vi not wasting any time. They say, forget Roshan, who needs Aegis?
It's because if they go for Aegis, they have to wait until the next nighttime is over. Right now, it's mid-daytime.
Well, they're going to pop the darkness and make a go on this one. Na'Vi have the tombstone to cover themselves a bit. Arcel just going to drop it preemptively, but from the side comes Gorietz. He's got that Axe Vision. Artez ready with a Sonic Wave. Goddamn, looking for that magical Blink Echo Slam. Can he find it, though? They've got vision, but Na'Vi back off. They smoke under vision of Night Stalker, who's going to reveal the entire thing. Oh, here comes goddamn Blink. Echo on 3. The vision to follow. It's a good initiation. Sonic Wave there as well, and Na'Vi lose 3 quickly. The Stone Gaze going to force Dendy as well as Havos back. Dendy throws the Requiem, but he's on his own. Havos TP's out successfully. Dendy, all he can do is BKB and run. He's going to turn, actually going to fight. He's going to look to bring down Artez. One more right click. He does it. Yule Scepter's still available, throws one up in the air, finds a haste rune of all things, but no escape. Gem gets dropped, Na'Vi lose 4.
Wow. I can't believe they clumped up so much. They clumped up like 3 or 4 heroes on top of each other for a good 5 or 6 seconds.
The Echo caught 3, but it feels like it could have caught 4 or 5.
Yeah, that is one of the biggest no-nos in Dota. Don't clump up versus an Earthshaker. And numerous high ground sieges have failed because of that, and Na'Vi fell victim to the same play.
So Hellraiser's going to obviously fight to the bitter end. They've got the Medusa, they've got the late game in a lot of ways, and that's a good team fight for them. They also managed to take the gem out of the Radiant side's hands, I believe.
Now they have a Lincoln Sphere up on Queen of Pain. Not that it's particularly useful, just because they don't have a Diffusal, and they're not really going to lasso the Dusa. They've always been lassoing the Omni Knight.
Yep. I think Na'Vi, that's going to be a bit of a wake-up call for them. They're close to a couple of big items. The Skadi on Shadow Fiend, the BKB on both Batrider and Razor. So from that point of view, it's like, okay, guys, yeah, it's daytime. Well, it was daytime, but we just need to wait out this next night, get the next Roshan, and farm these BKBs before we go do anything too crazy.
Nighttime again.
And they want to commit to Roche here.
With nighttime, it's really dangerous.
Oh, yeah. Gorietz is already on the way with Gem, Aghanim Scepter in hand. And yeah, Havos is going to back out of there.
So now there's a stalemate where Na'Vi wants to end the game. They want to take Roshan and end the game right now, or at least take another set of racks. And HR, they just want to stall for Medusa to get large. And she's still far away from her BKB, 4,000 gold, 3,000 goldish. And if they wait until the next daytime, she's going to have her Skadi. And then at that point, Medusa actually becomes a force to reckon with.
That's where pushing high ground into that will not be fun for Na'Vi, but getting some good late game items of those. Still Dendy on top of the net worth, 15,000 for him. Havos not far behind him. We're definitely seeing it more and more with this new Na'Vi. A lot more prioritization on Dendy getting his farm. In the past, it's always just been for protect Havos in a lot of ways, but Dendy now with a Skadi complete. And it's going to be Roshan going the way of Hellraisers. I'm not sure what Na'Vi can do about this when they're heading that direction with Batrider on their side of things. Definitely a fight they can take, but funny because Knocker to TP scroll just complete his BKB. A very slow Roshan for Hellraisers, and it looks like not even a possible Roshan. They get out, they smoke up. Havos going to go running into them. Scouts out a couple. Not a hero that Hellraisers want to engage upon.
Well, they did see a couple of heroes. I don't know if he suspects that they were smoked, but Batrider maybe looking to get the jump, but they finally are not clumping up. They're very well spread out. They were very well spread out.
Come on, Na'Vi. That's the thing. Even if you think you're, like, you think, oh, we can clump up because we're in fog. Night Stalker, no, you're not in fog. You're never in fog. At least not when it's nighttime, and that's where Hellraisers found that perfect engagement, that last team fight. Another plasma field comes out. I think Hellraisers spot that one. They're going to pop the darkness and go charging in with Gorietz. On the Artsal, he gets off just the ultimate, but he's silenced up. Instead, they change their efforts and go onto your bat, who doesn't get a chance to use his BKB. Havos going to try and fight in the front lines here, but I don't know if that's the best idea. Has not got his BKB complete just yet. They're trying to protect the tombstone. They need to kill this tomb, but they're trapped in a connect field. The Guardian Angel comes out. Where's that magic damage? Dendy winds up a Requiem. Hits two, but the Echo Slam from goddamn catches out 3 in the back line. Na'Vi dropping like flies. Havas next in line to go down. One more Void could seal his fate. Havas in trouble. Alpha Ninja wants the last hit. It goes to the Night Stalker. And Na'Vi get destroyed by another bad team fight. Another huge Echo Slam.
The Night Stalker with Darkness is just way too strong. Na'Vi, they didn't even need the Echo to kill Bat Rider. He just simply fissured him because he can't see it coming. And then they just killed him in a fissure into a Blink Enchant. And then after that, they saved the Echo for the other 3. And Na'Vi just taking a fight in a really bad place. They're very likely to clump up in the forest. They need to take fights like uphill, spread out, or wait for BKBs.
I mean, Na'Vi, looking in hindsight, it's like they could have just spent the last 4 minutes of nighttime just hiding on the high ground of their base, and things would be going better for them. Instead, moving out, they've been punished multiple times. Funnick even going for a weird little pickoff without any backup is not going to find too much there, and oh boy, things suddenly got a whole lot harder for Na'Vi to win this game. Experience now goes the way of the Hellraiser squad. Net worth still slightly Na'Vi favored. And maybe if they can secure this next Roshan. Daytime is a-coming. And this next 4 minutes for Na'Vi seems like one of the crucial timings of this game.
Well, it's only relatively even because Na'Vi took down the Rax. And if they didn't take down the Rax, I would say HR is most certain, like, very likely to win this. But since they have one lane, they can at least threaten some split push pressure just because HR don't have a good way of breaching high ground.
Oh, GG Rune at bottom lane. There's your double damage, and with Daytime hitting, I think Na'Vi are like, this is a DD, this is Roshan. But Nightstalker can pop the Darkness and look to contest this one. Does do so. Will this scare Na'Vi off? They've got the DD. It looks like they want to commit to this. They put the Tombstone preemptively on their higher ground. Artstyle at it again. Funnick fireflies up to try to get his team some vision, but Gorietz will always spot him first. Just trying to scare him away, and there we go. They secure Roshan. Na'Vi just want to back off, wait out the Darkness to expire, and then I think the 5-man push will head towards the Hellraiser's base.
That's a great Tombstone placement. HR can't approach from the right side because if Earthshaker and Quap blink in, the Medusa is going to get left out in the cold, and they need her because the game is not that far in Navi's favor or HR's favor, whatever you want to call it, and they just can't approach from the left side. If Earthshaker doesn't get the Echo, they lose the fight.
So here we go. It's going to be Daytime any second now with the Night Stalker ultimate wearing off, and that's a minute plus of Daytime right now before there's another Darkness. And Na'Vi ready to high ground siege. Alpha Ninja does have a Skadi. They're trying to delay things with a fissure. And so far successful. Goddamn goes in with an Echo, a defensive Echo Slam, and now it's pulled back in. He gets drawn into the fight here. The Stone Gaze catches up most of the Na'Vi lineup, but they're not taking much damage off of this. Crimson Guard mech and just the pure survivability of their heroes. Looks like they may break through another line of racks here. Na'Vi, have they found the timing they've been looking for? Dendy goes forward. The buyback force out from your Night Stalker. BKB out from Dendy. Has an Aegis. Maybe forced to pop. There's Artstyle. Looks to create some space in the front lines here. Dendy turns and fights, looking to get the kill on Gorietz, but I don't think he's going to do so. Scream from your Queen of Pain gets one more kill. Funnick in some trouble. Shadow Strike, Flame Break back. Artez goes down, and Funnick, meanwhile, the Shadow Strike damage not going to be enough with the mech and the Soul Repeal. Na'Vi push forward once more. Night Stalker forced back to heal, and Dendy on the front lines may not have an Aegis, but he wants his T3 tower. Glyph still available. Queen of Pain going to buy back, and they need another Eye of the Storm. It's up in 15 seconds if they want to go for this, but feeling less and less likely to succeed. And yep, Na'Vi going to back completely off of this mid lane.
It looked like Funnick blinked with Firefly on top of the Earthshaker right as he was about to blink in an Echo.
Yeah, it felt like the Echo happened like simultaneously. I think his blink got cancelled, and it was a bit of a quote-unquote whiff from goddamn Earthshaker there.
I think he was in a, like, if Funnick had not blinked and stopped it, I think he would have gotten 3 heroes again, and it would have been a team wipe again.
Well, we're seeing goddamn make the plays happen so far. He needs to continue this for Hellraiser. Although they hold during Daytime against an Aegis. And I think Na'Vi are going to look at that and be like, well, what else can we do? Farm our next couple of items. Let's build Dendy up towards the late game. He's going to start building some lifesteal up.
I think a split siege Like, Medusa can only hold one lane, and they also need the Earthshaker to protect the Medusa. So I think if they split siege, they can at least get some chip damage on the sides.
Yep.
Especially while waiting for the bottom lane to push in.
And Darkness going to be popped by your Night Stalker. And with the real Knight approaching fast, this is going to be a long, long period of darkness for Na'Vi to cope with. A lot of dire vision as well. The warding from Hellraisers deep near the Na'Vi side of the map, defensively in their own jungle.
Don't they have a gem?
On the Night Stalker, yes. On the Radiant side, I think it was lost to Hellraisers in one of those team wipes. It feels like they need a new gem at this rate, and there is one available in their shop.
They're trying to smoke, but...
Where do you smoke? Even if you smoke outside of vision, Hellraisers will quickly pick up based on how many wards they have on the map that, okay, Na'Vi are nowhere to be seen.
Especially now that Night Stalker has an invis room, he can go where they suspect the smoke is and pop it. And let's
again,
see.
they smoked under ward vision.
Yeah, they have to be more careful. But I mean, I can understand why they want to do this. They just want to end the game right now.
Yeah.
And they know that Deuce is getting there, and this tower in the middle and the top lane, they're low.
Medusa
Very
has a buyback.
enticing.
I mean, I imagine at this point Medusa may just be more of a frontliner as well. Can play a lot more aggressive with this buyback available.
Nice ward placed by the Earthshaker.
Night Stalker will give detection for it if he goes near enough. Yeah, it looks like he'll give detection. Artez clears it out though.
No, the Earthshaker placed one.
Placed one in the logo. Oh, okay, I was talking about the Na'Vi ward. Crimson Guard, they going forward. Their glyph is available. Looking to focus down the Tombstone. Alpha Ninja has to do a bit more with the Soul Rip. There we go, Tombstone down. Meanwhile on the side, they catch up. Goriot's on the Night Stalker. They want this gem. There's your Echo Slayer from Goddamn again, followed by the Sonic Wave of Voss. He managed to get off the BKB, but Dendy, BKB's afterwards. He's already low. The Requiem going to negate a lot of this damage output. Goriot's on the run, being slowed down and brought down. There's your gem drop. Hellraisers still chasing. They want more. They want Dendy, but the blink out comes just in time as Goddamn won't manage to latch onto him, but Funnick maybe not so lucky. 4-staff TP. Nothing to cancel it. Not a bad fight for Na'Vi perhaps, but Artstyle still being caught out here, and looks like he will go down on the Undying. So it is still Hellraisers holding onto the high ground. They lose their tier 3 tower, but a 3-for-1 trade.
They lose the gem,
and the gem.
too, though.
I mean, I think they have a backup gem because they had their own gem and they had Navi's gem last I checked. So.
Oh yeah, there's one in the base. But still, they can't afford to lose that many more buildings. They only have 5 left of relevance. Well, besides the ancients, but 1 T3, 2 sets of Rex, and I mean, even with the GA, he's not farmed enough. Oh, actually, he has a scepter now.
Yeah.
So now they can.
They really need a defusal almost, it feels like. He just sat back and also can GA the building, so.
Mm-hmm. But if they defusal, they just throw the repel on the Dusa as well as the Lincolns, and then they can't get past her.
Yep.
So I don't think a defusal is the answer. I still think split pushing is the best way to do it.
Try bait out like push around the cooldowns of some of these ultis, but.
But what's to prevent HR from just all-inning on a person with Echo?
Yep.
So that's also an issue, because they need a strong hero in front like Razor or Shadow Fiend, but if they put them up front, they can just get Echo bursted down, and unless they have like a buyback plus BOT, it's not going to be worth it.
And with the game continuing at this pace, it looks like HR will be able to farm up their next couple crucial items. You get a Butterfly on your Medusa, Omni Knight with a Void Stone. This could be a Refresher Orb coming up.
What do you think is better for Na'Vi? They can either risk... HR doesn't have a good way to push their base right now, and the only way they're going to do so is if Na'Vi present themselves in a vulnerable situation by pushing themselves. So Na'Vi can kind of eliminate that risk by not pushing and farming.
The big problem is they've kind of gone all in on some of these early mid-game items. Like, you look at Undying, he's gone for this Vlad's Crimson Guard. He hasn't geared up towards any sort of a late game with, like, I mean, talk about some of the past Undyings I've seen go for like a Midas into an Aghanims BKB type build. There is no late game, no great late game potential for him.
But their item builds have yielded buildings.
Yes.
So it's
worked
okay,
out.
right? So they don't have as many items, but they have racks down and a T3. So I don't know.
Is the one lane enough right now? It's starting to feel like it may not be.
It's a very difficult position for Na'Vi.
It feels like they need that mid lane of racks, and then they have the advantage again. But right now, it's much more Hellraisers in control. They're smoking up with nighttime advantage. Goriot's going to get the jump. This is looking really dangerous for Na'Vi. They have picked up the Diffusal Blade on Havas, on the Razor. Na'Vi are grouped up, huddled together. They pop the Tombstone here even. looking to prepare for this fight, and Hellraisers say...
This is a very awkward situation. Navi's going to wait for nighttime to end, though, so HR has to make the move if they want him. Oh, Crimson Card has been popped.
Wow, Navi are just like so aware of exactly where HR are on the map, and that darkness ending soon. It's going to be a sigh of relief for Navi, and I think they do want to go for that. I think they almost need to just keep going for this all-in push.
Yes, but they need to take mid, not top.
Yeah, oh, like the split push you mentioned. It all comes down to these Batrider initiations. He ideally wants to find this Omni Knight.
But I mean, he's gotten jumped so many times, too.
And yeah, if he sets up for the Echo Slam, for if his team huddle up, that's when
here we go,
things
3-minute nighttime.
No Firefly for 18 seconds, and that's kind of a crucial spell in some ways here. Razor on the high ground, though. Glyph available and maybe forced out. They're saying screw mid lane, let's just go for another tier 3 tower. So HR down another important building. The range rack's the next focus as well. Alpha Ninja on the front line is just trying to delay things with the Tombstone. That's a range rack's down. May not be the important one, but it's still an objective claimed by Na'Vi.
Why is Afro Ninja not playing more aggressively?
Oh, there's your BKB grab. They got Dread with this, the lasso, but they haven't got the damage. The Stone Gaze going to keep him alive for now. The Static Field Kinetic, can Dread survive it? No, he can't. Dead. Omni Knight, insta buyback. The GA available if he wants to go for it. Seems like it's not needed just yet. They also lost the Queen of Pain, and that Dendy gets healed up. Nice Echo Slam from goddamn again. The secret hero of this Hellraisers team brings down your Disruptor. And right now, Hellraisers, they're pushing Na'Vi back. They lose the Razor as well as they're going to lose the Undying. Goddamn blinks in once more for another Totem. And Artsile, he's going down. They lose the range rack. It still feels like passable for Na'Vi, but still not good for them.
I still think HR could be holding these fights a lot better. The Deuce is just letting the Razor get free damage. Why isn't she standing right on the high ground and preventing the Razor from walking up the hill? He has Repel, and they also have GA to back him up.
Maybe worried about a static link. If he's like right on the front lines, Razor just gets like a full duration static link on Dusa.
I mean, at that point, he can just block the Razor off, though, and just kill him. I mean, I think it's just... There is no reason for the Razor to be able to push up that far, kill the T3, and then kill the racks, and then a fight to start. I think the fight should start as he tries to commit for the range racks.
Well, this will give Hellraiser some breathing room. If they can claim Aegis and Cheese here with Undying and Razor dead, it seems very well possible. Roshan has been one of the keys to success for this Hellraisers team throughout the lower bracket, and looking to do so once more.
Is it Rapier time?
It's starting to feel like it. It's been the Hellraiser special. Na'Vi looking to poke their heads in, but they're too late. Aegis Cheese claimed. Dendy blinks forward, has the Requiem. Not going to go for it on goddamn. He's going to instead wind up now with the Static Storm off the mark, though. Doesn't seem like a fight Na'Vi want to take. They haven't even got their Razor back this year. He's only recently TP'd in, and they're fighting into an Aegis. Feels entirely unnecessary. Art style gets blinked on by Artez. Where's that lasso? Here comes your...
Dendy's alone. Dendy's alone.
Oh dear, Shadow Fiend going down, does have a buyback available, but he's gonna get taken out by Hellraisers. Is this where you even consider going for your own push if you're Hellraisers? 5-man down the mid lane, or?
Certainly.
I would
think
back.
so.
Oh, nope, Medusa says
if they don't push, they
otherwise.
just completely waste Shadow Fiend's death, and they can't force a buyback. Maybe they're waiting for nighttime, but at the same time, they are losing buildings on each of these pushes, even though they haven't. I mean, they've won the fights. I don't actually know if you can call them winning, just because they only have one melee, or one range and 2 melee racks left.
Yeah, at some point,
they're all exposed.
I mean, Na'Vi aren't really losing ground as far as their net worth lead goes. Medusa's getting farmed, but Na'Vi themselves are still growing their items right now.
There is a diffusal finally on Havost.
Yeah.
So they might have to go with the repel GA Medusa.
With the Lincolns and everything.
Yes.
So, Alpha Ninja. What's his next move going to be? Do you think it is Rapier time?
I think so. Just because they lose one more fight, they lose the game.
Yeah.
Just because it's going to be that close to Mega Creeps. Or Na'Vi can just suicide on the racks and trade BKB with Stone Gaze and GA and then just suicide on the buildings. Or it's just split push just because there's no T3s to stop the creep waves anymore. So, and she's very slot limited at this point. I mean, it's very unlikely that she's going to die. Especially if they put Repel on her.
Alright, well, we'll see Hellraisers make their move. They're going to deward the map here. Got that map control coming out from the Night Stalker Ag's Gem, and This has been largely Navi's undoing. So many of these big Echo Slams have been set up by the vision advantage Hellraisers have had, and it's really been a core component of all their drafts. Going back to some of the early rounds, it was the Zeus with the ultimate giving them vision, and now it's the Night Stalker coming into play. They're chasing Havost, and they see him. Do they want to commit to this one? It looks like they do. Havost has BKB, but can they bring him down here? They've got the vision they need, and the chase is on. Going to BKB TP. No bashes, nothing to go through that right now.
Where's the Earthshaker? Earthshaker needs to blink echo that. They have vision, and Havost doesn't. Actually, did Havost have vision with that Observer Ward? I believe so.
Yeah, I think he spotted them coming his way. I mean, he BKB TP'd, so. Now, pushing with the Aegis towards top lane. The bottom lane pushed out enough that Hellraisers can at least get this tier 2 tower, unless Na'Vi try and defend it, which are they gearing up to do? Dendi is off just getting himself some souls right now. 22 souls only. I think Na'Vi are like, yeah, we don't really want to fight this. Dendi has no damage output from a Requiem at this point. And Havost in the front lines, just getting chipped away at. Mech, Sonic Wave going to be off the mark here.
Oh, the Echo whipped. He got hit by a tombstone.
No Echo, no nothing here. Alpha Ninja in the Static Storm, but no kinetic field there. The lasso back. They're trying to pull in Dread here, but they don't get to do so because of the Stone Gaze. Dendi on the side, just a kind of defensive Requiem more than anything, and Vanek goes down. He couldn't get the lasso back because of the Stone Gaze. Great positioning from Alpha Ninja. Causes Na'Vi problems. Buyback now for your Bat Rider, and this is looking bad for Na'Vi. They do force out all these long ulti cooldowns, and they do want to take it, make a jump and make a move towards Hellraisers, but haven't got good lockdown or really many good ways to cancel these TPs back.
Funnick keeps getting the grab onto the Omni Knight, but there is a Stone Gaze that they cannot.
Single time.
Yeah, they can't run past Medusa.
And even Funnick, like as he's trying to pull back, he's facing the Medusa and suddenly gets stuck.
And that's a pretty good positioning for Na'Vi on at their tower. So let's see, Dusa sitting at 4,600 gold, just 1,600, well, not only 1,200 gold away from that Rapier territory.
With Aegis expiring, we'll open up the item slot. I mean, you won't have an Aegis to go with the Rapier, but it feels like Medusa is unlikely to. I mean, if you die once in the fight and having to buy back, it's maybe a lost fight regardless.
Unless you forget to do something like activate Mana Shield.
Yeah.
Common problem.
It's not just how common that is. Hopefully not something we see here today from this Medusa. So, Shadow Fiend picks up an MKB.
No buyback. That is ballsy.
And probably realizing that Na'Vi are actually in quite a poor position right now, it feels like.
I mean, I would say it's even poorer without the buyback. I think it's... Because if they take a fight, if they have buyback, at least HR will have to go back and defend. But if they don't have buyback, they can just throw it in.
Na'Vi kind of pinging down this mid lane. Roshan, Aegis reclaimed. If anything, Navi's maybe thinking, daytime is hitting, Aegis is gone.
I'm not sure if it's a Rapier. Let's look at the chicken. It's a Demon Edge into...
Could just be casual
Daedalus?
Demon Edge. Daedalus, MKB possible. I guess is there evasion? Not really.
Looks like a Rapier.
Casual Demon Edge for now.
Yeah.
You make up your mind later on. So Darkness gets popped, and with that, Hellraisers will push Na'Vi back again, but I think Na'Vi with this Aegis expired are going to be looking to make... I think they need to go for a push. I don't think they have what it takes late game. I mean, Havost isn't really a carry with these items. He's kind of tanky on the front lines, but...
They can't win team fights, but they can keep their lanes pushed out.
Yeah.
Right? HR has been only winning these fights because they 5-man the whole time.
And Gorietz just moves around the map. At this point, he's not even looking to initiate or gank, although maybe they've got Havost off by himself. BKB TP and blink forward from... Goddamn, he's looking for the Disruptor, but he's now blinked into a Static Storm. Over-aggressive, perhaps. Dendi going to turn and fight, brings down your Earthshaker. There's your GA, but it's too late to save the AS. Dendi has a Requiem available, not going to go for it until now. Requiem unwinds. There's your minus damage onto the Hellraisers carries. Goriet's now lassoed into place. They're not going to be able to save him. Artez throws the Sonic Wave, but just on the Dendi. Not a bad fight for Na'Vi, and the Stone Gaze being somewhat avoided. Dendi going to now turn and fight. He's going to blow up, though, and now the fight going to get turned towards the Hellraisers' favor as Funnick getting slowed down by the Skadi, the kinetic field, helping negate some of this chase, and Razor going to be pulled back as Dread locked in place. No cancel on the Medusa TP, but it's an Omni Knight kill, and no SF buyback, but still 3-for-1 in Na'Vi's favor. The first good fight we've seen from them in some time.
Earthshaker keeps getting caught out.
How about keeps? He's done well for the most part, but the last two fights have been bad. The one top where he whiffed the Echo, and that one there.
He needs a smoke or Shadow Blade, I think. He has the gold for it. Just sell your Soul Ring, get a Shadow Blade so you don't get hit by tombstones. I don't believe that Navi has been carrying a gem for quite some. Oh, actually, Bat has one, but Bat can't walk up to the Night Stalker and try and look for the ES. I think it's just most important that he doesn't get hit by the tombstone.
We'll see what Navi's move is. It seems they're just going to sit back and play things for the ultra late game and hope that things can kind of turn around for the better at that stage. Medusa, though, what is it going to be? Demon Edge in hand, has not upgraded to anything just yet. Obviously, considering holding onto the buyback, 3.7k surplus. You got to reach that 3.8k to pick up the Rapier and a buyback. Although if you're losing Rapier, maybe having buyback ain't so good anyways.
Probably wants that one slot for Aegis. We'll see the timer in just a second.
Yeah, if you get Rapier Aegis here, that could be very, very game-winning for Hellraisers.
Dendi very close to buyback. Omni Knight working on a refresher, so he does not have buyback. Bat Riders is still cooling down. And Havos also does not have buyback. What is up with Navi not having buyback on their important heroes?
Well, things heating up here. This is game 3. Winner of this game is coming out. Santa Monica to represent the CIS region at the Red Bull Battlegrounds Dota 2 playoffs. You guys can follow all the action over at redbullbattlegrounds.com. As right now, Hellraisers in great position to clinch the win. It may not be a net worth lead for them. Experience, though, in their favor, and if they can grab their hands on this next Roshan, which is a pretty fast respawn, oh boy, will things look good. And there's your Rapier for Alpha Ninja. This is just classic CIS Dota. What a way to end the day with a Rapier Medusa game.
Who do you think's going to win?
I'm all aboard Hellraiser's train right now. This is looking good for them. There is a refresher on Havos, but it just doesn't feel like Havos can hold his own in a team fight against the big nuke damage of Queen of Pain and Earthshaker, the vision advantage Hellraisers have with the Night Stalker. Here come Na'Vi. Looking to engage. The Fissure counter initiation's there. They pull Alpha Ninja back. The Guardian Angel's there waiting. There's your Requiem. There's going to be a refresh on this. Alpha Ninja cannot afford to die. He gets off the Stone Gaze. Can look to push Na'Vi back. Havos just so squishy. He goes down. Dendi now gets Echo Signed. And both Dendi and Havos going to be on the sidelines. Neither with buyback. Hellraiser just tearing apart Na'Vi. The Rapier is doing its job. And right now, Hellraisers are going to go straight down the mid lane. I imagine Saniko trying to TP out is successful. Will not die at the fountain, but no Razor, no Shadow Fiend.
No buyback on Dendi. He's 100 gold away.
No, Bat Rider won't get caught out for now.
He's buying time. Why are they not going for the throne?
They don't know about the buyback status.
I guess
they'd rather secure Roshan. This is the safer move. You don't know what... If Na'Vi buy back and somehow your Medusa dies, that's one of the quickest ways to throw this game if you're Hellraisers.
Navi went in with a plan of, okay, we're going to lasso the Medusa and try and kill her. That's so bold. I think they're overestimating the damage output. She hasn't been close to dying in any of these fights.
Maybe if they got the Static Storm so that Medusa didn't get the Stone Gaze off. But that Stone Gaze has just been the big spell in these team fights.
Yeah, I mean, they have GA, and then they have a counter Echo as well. I think she can survive for their BKB duration.
For most of it, it seems. So now we have Aegis, Rapier, and Boots of Travel. Alpha Ninja ready to go.
They have to... I would still say they have to go all in mid. There's still a T2 on top, a T2
for
on
Na'Vi,
bottom.
you mean, or for Hellraisers?
For Hellraisers.
I mean, are they really in a rush right now? Or?
I think they're lacking mobility. And Na'Vi, if HR tries to split push out their lanes, they're vulnerable to a Bat Rider.
Yep.
And if they go down mid without their lanes pushed out, they might get throned.
At the same time, can Na'Vi ever really push?
They've been pushing.
Not for like 15 minutes, though.
I mean, they've been attempting to. Whereas Hellraisers can't really, they haven't really been able to cross the river.
Since the range racks at top went down, Na'Vi has not come close to the Hellraisers base, it feels like, because of the Night Stalker just Ag Scepter.
It's also because they've been trying to pick fights instead of rat their way. Right. They try to engage on a Dusa. They can also just kite the Dusa. Like, if they can, like, drag her and cliff her, that would be amazing for their team. If they could just lasso her away and then force staff her away so that everyone's safe from the Stone Gaze, that's also a good way to deal with it. Catch her while she's BOTing and then glimpse her back is also a good way.
The Aegis 5-man. They're going to go for the T2 tower, but I imagine after this, they just go straight through the top lane, and even after the racks could just go straight for the throne if they want to.
Man. Havos needs a TP. If he sold his mech for a TP, he could just threaten mid and threaten a throne because he has his refresher. Yeah. But without that, Na'Vi have to hold this.
That's a good point. We'll see Alpha Ninja now with Repel. Just going to march forward. He's got the Lincolns and Repel. You can't defuse this one, Havos. Just going to chip away at that tier 3 tower. Going to keep seeing that repel Lincolns come out, I imagine. That's just round 1. They're pinging out these other lanes, but
no one is pushing out mid lane. This is a rat would be ashamed of Na'Vi right now.
yes.
So ashamed.
If you're like a team like Alliance or like what Secret with Arteezy would do, they would be rat dirt all over the place.
Yeah,
but
their T4s would be getting hit right now.
yeah, even the mid Raxes, whatever it may be, something is being pressured.
And
up
then
on
you
that.
just BKB TP out. It's not like you're actually under that much risk from doing that. They don't have a good way to stop the BKB TP unless Earthshaker's already in position. Or you're taking Stone Gaze and facing the wrong way. So Na'Vi live to see another day, even though HR take a huge fight.
And Roshan Aegis, 2 minutes left, so they could go for one more push while they still got
I mean, I don't think Afro Ninja's going to die.
Yeah.
So I think actually the Aegis is a wasted slot. He can go for double rapier.
Let's say double rapier sounds about right.
Sounds about right.
Last time I saw Hellraisers with this, well, back in Compass Gaming days, they had a triple rapier Medusa with no boots, getting 4-staffed around in a team fight just so she could move and attack people, and I want to see some more of that before this game is over. 56 minutes in, and we're getting closer and closer to deciding our CIS champion here to be flowing out to Santa Monica. And right now, Hellraiser's looking to march down this bottom lane, but here comes your split push. Na'Vi say,
Base race?
I think if you're Na'Vi, that's your best bet you've had all game long. Where are the TPs? Nightstalker does not have one. Medusa has Boots of Travel, is already TP'd back, and that's a big hero bet. Will they have the protection? Batrider does not get the right blink in, and there's going to be an initiation. Earthshaker, he's found another Echo Slam. Medusa goes in the front line, silence up, cannot Stone Gaze, but has the damage output to kill off Havos. Maybe, maybe not. No one dead just yet. Alpha Ninja just charging forward, gets Yuled up in the air. Now they focus down the tombstone. Luckily for Na'Vi, it feels like they lose no one, but here comes Gorieth. Cleanup crew has arrived, loses his DD room, but there's your GA. Gets purged off though, and Havos will go down, but brings the Nightstalker with him. Buyback now coming into play. Artez on the chase. Looking for Dendy off to the side here. Is he going to catch up? Blink, Shiv is available. Could get some more vision as well as the slow there. Dendy just going to turn and fight. Batrider nearby, has a lasso and everything. Breaks the Lincolns and pulls back in, but gets hit by the fissure. Goddamn, trying to keep his buddy alive. Artez blinks out, won't go down to the flame break. As from the north comes your Undying, but Cheese gets used. Artez healed back up, and on the sidelines it's Medusa. Bringing down your Bat. Razor has buyback. Batrider has buyback. Na'Vi still in this one, but they're hanging on by a thread.
And Afro Ninja TP's down to the bottom lane. Aegis soon to expire. Havos does have buyback.
Okay.
Now all their lanes are pushed in, and Na'Vi, I think, missed another opportunity.
Well, is Medusa going to go for this? This is where you just try and chain your buybacks together and bring down the Medusa as the Aegis expires, but Omniite bought a refresher, importantly, so he can refresh this GA even though Na'Vi maybe think the GA is on cooldown.
So now they have double GA and a repelled Dusa. This is really bad for Na'Vi. I don't think they can repel this.
Hellraisers, I think they get scared by the lack of Aegis here. Glimpse back, Artez, Static Storm waiting for him, and he's got no escape from this one. They're going to refresh the GA and use it. Dendy just going to turn and raise, that's all he can really do. So Nico on the front line is going to be brought down with ease as Funnick barely escapes this. Still waiting on that Havos respawn. There's Medusa on the front lines with a rapier. That's where you have to kind of think twice about what you want to do here. No lasso available for the time being. Just a glimpse Static Storm to try, or glimpse Kinetic Field trying to force some spells out. Havos going to BKB on the front lines, but he cannot hold his own. He's getting zoned out, and Alpha Ninja with this is just going to look to focus down the T3 towers. Nobody's going for the hero. So Nico going to die back here. Artez still on the front line. Takes some damage from the Requiem, but not too much as he gets far enough away from Medusa. Gets another kill on the Tier 3 tower, and looks like finally Hellraisers will break the high ground. They take their first racks of the game. It's the range one in mid lane. They want some more. They want the melee one. Where's that Bat Lasso? Coming up in 10. But both mid racks have been claimed. Na'Vi trying to find a pick off on the retreat. It's going to be goddamn on the Earthshaker they want, but he gets full stuff out of there. And Na'Vi still chasing. They're grouped up. They really want to commit to this one. They better watch out for the counter initiation. There's a Blink Echo Slam available. Gorieth. Blink. Echo. Goddamn catches out 3. The Sonic Wave to follow. And Na'Vi get eviscerated by this. Dendy's low. He's brought down. And it's an absolute disaster here. Na'Vi going to get team wiped. The buybacks come out from Hellraisers. They want to go for the GG push. Earthshaker, Queen of Pain, both come back into the game. Boots of Travel getting picked up. Buyback status not looking good for Na'Vi. Razor's back, SF is back, but this is it. One last stand for Na'Vi, and it's looking all over for the new squad led by Artstyle.
And now they have no solution for the Repel Dusa.
Dusa's like, I got all this money, 14k, like where's my more rapier? Yeah, there we go, double rapier, here we go, ending the game in style. I'll blink forward on Artez, but the GG may be called before this rapier even arrived. Alpha Ninja is just focusing down the throw, pops the Stone Gaze, says, alright, I'll kill off Dandy, I can spare some time for that one, and then we're going to move on into the throne. GG surely going to come out any second now. Na'Vi have no options left. The throne is all that's left standing, and Hellraisers have held strong, taken down Na'Vi, and they're coming to Santa Monica. They have won the CIS group stage for Red Bull Battlegrounds.
It's a strat that's very hard to beat. The Night Stalker, the Omni Knight, and the Medusa. The cornerstones to that strategy, I mean, they executed it very well. I thought that Na'Vi gave up a couple of opportunities. I also thought that Hellraisers had some amazing, amazing fights due to goddamn Echo Slams, and wow, that was a long one, tough one.
That was